There are so many Mudgars and Gadas in the markets. I will help you explain what does each Mudgar help you with, where you should start, and how you should advance in your practice. Hey guys, this is Haresh from MudgarFitness, where we help people get physically strong, mentally strong, as well as help your chronic pains. Okay, so guys, I completely empathize with you. There are many Mudgars in the market of all different shapes and sizes. Some are small, some are tall, okay, then there's the Gada also, there's Samtola also, and many other equipments. And every time everyone gets confused. What should I start? What weight should I start with? Should I go for a natural wood Mudgar or a varnished Mudgar? Okay, so there are multiple questions, I understand. Let's break down with each type of Mudgar and I will help you how to progress in your practice. Okay, so number one, first always start with a Kai kurlai. Okay, always start with a Kai kurlai. Now in my hand you see both these kurlais are of different weight. This is a lightweight Kai kurlai, this is a heavyweight Kai kurlai. Now, why am I telling you to start first with a Kai kurlai? Because Kai in Tamil means your arm, okay, your arm. So basically the Kai kurlai should be the length of your arm, okay, it should be the length of your arm. And everyone is different, right? Everyone has different height, different weight, and accordingly your arm's length is also changing. So accordingly we suggest Kai kurlai to start the practice. Now for the Kai kurlai weight, that's another question and it varies from men to women. So if I would tell you in very simple terms, for a man, divide a man's weight by 16, okay, whatever you get, that is the weight you should start your Mudgar with. So let's say if a man weighs 80 kgs, divide 80 by 16 and then that would be a 5 kg Kai kurlai. Okay, but there are other hidden patterns on this too, and that is something which I can suggest on a case to case basis. But in a very simple terms, for a man of 80 kg, you can start with a 5 kg Kai kurlai. For a woman of 80 kg, divide 80 by 24, okay, and you will get somewhere around 3 kgs, 2.5 to 3 kgs. That is the Mudgar, that is the Kai kurlai you should take for a woman, okay, to start a practice. So that is about Kai kurlai. Let's go on to our next kurlai. So our next kurlai are Padi kurlais, okay. So Padi kurlais are basically the small ones, okay, and each piece weighs around a kilo to 2 kilos, okay, but they always come in pairs, okay. So these Padi kurlais are also recommended if you're starting a Mudgar practice. But why do we use these? We use these so that we strengthen your wrist joint, okay, we strengthen your wrist joint and we make this practice sustainable so that you're able to progress in your other heavier Mudgars. So what happens is, as you start practicing the Mudgar, we want to switch to a heavier Mudgar or a Gada, okay, and if you do that, then what happens is your smaller muscles and your tendons and joints, they generally get ignored, okay, and then you get an injury. So to strengthen your smaller joints and muscles, you are supposed to do practice with Padi kurlais, okay. So that's about Padi kurlais. Let's go on to our next kurlai. So our next kurlai is the Buja kurlai, okay, a Buja kurlai. Okay, so Buja kurlai is mainly for your shoulders, okay. Once you start doing such type of swings, it strengthens your shoulders. And in ancient times, specifically all the warriors and archers, okay, they had to practice more of Buja kurlai. Why? Because let's say if you're in a war situation and you're riding a horse and you need to continuously remove your bow and arrow and kill the enemy, then what happens is you need to do this action for at least 100 times in a day, okay, when you're in a war situation, right? Because you don't know where the enemy is going to come from. So in that situation, you need to practice Buja kurlai to make your arms and shoulders more stronger, okay, and then you are prepared for war, okay. So Buja kurlai, guys, is a more intermediate type of workout. I will not suggest a beginner to start a Buja kurlai, okay. The next kurlai is the Kushti kurlai, okay, Kushti kurlai. If you see, the height of this kurlai is approx 3 feet, okay. So this was mostly practiced by Kushti wrestlers, okay, Kushti wrestlers. And why they used to practice this? Because when you are swinging a Kushti kurlai, what happens is, it gives you a feeling that you're grappling someone and then throwing that person. Okay, you're grappling someone and throwing that person. And when you're a wrestler, you need to do this action continuously. You need to keep throwing people, right? You need to keep picking up people and throwing people. So you need to practice kushti kurlai for that. Okay. So again, I will not ask a beginner to start with a kushti kurlai. Don't do it. You will get injured. Please start this at least after 6 months of kai kurlai practice. Okay. And another thing, there is also specific weight which is decided for each student. So this does not mean that if you've done 6 months, you can directly go for a 10 kg kushti kurlai. No, that is also wrong. There's a specific weight which is decided as per each student's practice. The next one, which maybe everyone is excited here about, is the Gada. Okay, the Gada. Again, I'm giving a disclaimer. Those who are beginners, please don't directly start with the Gada. First, practice with the kai kurlai. Get your practice, then start with the Gada. Okay. Now, the difference in the Gada and the other kurlais is, first of all, when you're practicing Gada, it's mostly double hand moves. Okay, you're mostly practicing with double hand moves. And second, the weight distribution of Gada is very much different than a kurlai. So if you observe, a Gada has more weight distribution at the end of it. Okay, at the end of it. So when you are swinging your Gada, it becomes more and more difficult. Okay, it becomes more and more difficult. So please practice your kai kurlai and other padi kurlais first for at least 6 months or a year, and then only you will be qualified for a heavyweight Gada. Okay, and guys, we also know this is a symbol of Lord Hanuman. We pay our respects to it, and we don't want to misuse this tool. So please don't directly think that I want to start Gada. Have patience. Get your kurlai practice done. Practice kai kurlai, practice padi kurlai, practice Buja kurlai, and then only you should go for a Gada. So that was for all these kurlais. Okay, there are more and more kurlais which I will make a separate video about that. But I hope you got quite a lot of information from this, and I hope it makes your practice more and more easier. Okay, that was it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If in case you are very keen on starting a live Mudgar's classes with us, you can check the details in the description below. Get in touch with us and we will help you how to start your Mudgar practice. Okay guys, that is it guys. It's time to get back your ancestral strength.